I'm here
Yes,
with
sir.
Tommy of Coroner to talk about the upcoming new record, Dissonance Theory, out October 17th on Century Media Records. First of all, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me about this upcoming new record. How's things going?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Pedro. How
So
are you?
I'm better now, better that you're here, and we get to talk about some new music that I've gotten a
Awesome.
chance to listen to and check out the record. And before we dive a little bit deeper into the album, let me ask you this: it's been a long time, as you're aware, since Grin came out. How was it to go back to pen and paper and start working on a new album?
Yeah, as you know, we took a little time, almost 10 years, but it's just yeah, at the beginning, we signed with Sony Central Media, and then just life came into to the way, kind of, like people died, and I got through a divorce, and then COVID happened, and I totally wasn't in the mood. So, and yeah, looking back from now, maybe I had a little bit of a procrastination problem as well. Maybe I was a bit afraid. But then we took a lot of care to record everything and to write everything, maybe out of 30 riff ideas, one made it on the record.
Wow, that's
So
interesting.
maybe it was a good thing, It's for me, it's the first Corner album I'm like 100% happy with.
Wow,
That,
really?
yeah, that's the most important thing because otherwise, I don't see the point in making an album nowadays.
Yeah,
So we wrote it for us, to be we have to be happy with everything.
And that brings the other question, which is the world is much different now in the music world than it was when Grin came out. Uh, does that play a role, not just on this album, but even going forward, how you approach making new corner music?
I mean, before I started writing, I thought a lot about how this album should sound. Should be more like the Green era, which a lot of people love, but others prefer the first three records. But I found out really fast that doesn't make any sense because I'm a total different person nowadays. I couldn't write No More Color again. That's not possible. So I just sat down and started writing, and yeah, that's what came out.
From the moment you sat down to the moment that you had the outline of the album complete, was it a long process?
Yeah, that was like, it was, I had to make breaks all the time because when I work here in the studio producing bands, I'm not into, like after 8 hours when I go home, I just don't like music anymore, So I always had to take a few days off, and it worked best when I went alone to the mountains. And so it was always like a week, and then the next band came in, like 2 months of a break, then another week. So yeah, I said, like the first riffs I wrote in 2015, and 25 it comes out. So it's almost 10 years.
I find that super interesting because a lot of times when you listen to, for example, a debut album, because normally a debut album is something that's been created over a long period of time, you can
Yes.
see in that debut album the changes from song to song. You could almost tell what songs were created earlier on, which songs were created later on in the process. Listening to Dissonance Theory, the album, while being versatile, it's very cohesive from top to bottom, and that is a unique characteristic considering that you took that approach.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, maybe that's, I don't know, like lifelong experience, or my daytime job as a music producer that helped. Maybe some stuff it helped, and for other stuff it was made things more difficult.
Yeah, you mentioned something that I thought was interesting in terms of, okay, what kind of sound does this album have to have? Does it have to sound like Grin, or do we go even further back? And that makes me think about the process that you entered, and did you think about the outside world? Because when you announce a new record, fans are going to have opinions on what they want to hear from Coroner. So did that play a role? Did you have your own expectations? Did you manage outside expectations?
You know, we never cared what the crowd wants. That wanted. That's maybe why our music is a bit weird sometimes. We always wrote for ourselves, never for a crowd. We never had like, okay, let's do a riff like Metallica. Maybe we're gonna sell some more records. We never did that. So
You just have to
it's
make
probably
yourselves happy.
just my taste, you know. I don't know.
Screw the rest. As long as I'm happy with what I've done, the rest doesn't matter. I mean, you have to have that attitude, because if you're not going to be happy with it, then what's the point?
Yeah, right. Especially nowadays, you know, there's not a lot of money in making a record, you know, and so it has to be fun and fulfilling. That's the most important thing for me.
What do you feel this album adds to the history of the band musically?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's there's are some similarities, obviously, you know. It's the same band. It's a different drummer. That makes a lot
Mhm.
of that makes a huge difference, I think. But the riffs, maybe everything is a bit more song oriented nowadays. You know, sometimes when I listen to the old stuff, I have to laugh a little bit, you know. So if people think, oh, it's not the same anymore, like the second album is the best, yeah, then listen to that album, you know. For me, that's past, you know. It's like a painter has his phases,
Hmm.
and then he goes to another phase, and the problem is he goes on, but as a musician, you always have to play your old stuff. You know, like I mean, Keith Richards, like playing Satisfaction, like for how many years on every show?
Every show. Yeah, I've never thought it from that perspective, but it would be like looking at the Mona Lisa and saying that that was the best one, and anything after that was total shit.
Yeah,
Because every single body of work, in my opinion, I always look at that, needs to be judged on its own merits. Does it hold up or doesn't hold up? I think it's a disservice to the music when you start comparing an album to an album. The album needs to be compared to itself.
yeah, totally. I 100% agree with that.
By the way, you mentioned something about the sound on this album. I thought the main pillar of the sound was the overall guitar playing. I absolutely love not only the sound of the guitars on this record, I love the guitar playing. The solos are phenomenal.
Thank you.
How much fun was it for you? Because the solos on this record sound incredible. Like it's almost like every song I'm waiting for the solo to come in, because it always brings so much value to the way the song comes across.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, when before I started recording here, you know, I was a bit afraid because nowadays, like, there's thousands of technically great guitar players, you know, on YouTube. It's like scary. It's like, what? Um, so I just concentrated on my playing, you know. It was same as the songwriting. I just waited what comes out, you know. And I think technique is great, but it's more important. Like nowadays, like the first few albums, we played very technical for the sake of being technical. We wanted to show the world that we practiced a lot, but nowadays it's yeah, emotion and meaning is way more important to me.
I was going to say
So
this
I
album.
just played from my heart
I was
and
just
my
going to say that
balls.
this album, the guitar solo specifically, but even the melodies, the leads, it feels more organic. It feels like it's more driven by the feel, the emotion, versus just trying to be overly technical with it. So it carries a different vibe.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I always try to write a little song in the song. with the guitar solo. It's just not senseless noodling, you know. It's I try to express something.
Are those solos something that you have laying around some ideas, or each song pushes you to create something unique for that track?
No, actually, I started all the solos with like just jamming over it for an hour and then started record and kept what I liked and I like this part, but I have to play it better. Then I learned it and recorded it like that.
What kind of, how would you define yourself as a guitar player? What kind of guitar player do you see yourself as?
I think I'm very open to all kind of music. It was always like that. I mean, I started out like very classical influenced because I played violin as a kid. And then from time to time, I came more into like the jazz players like Alan Holdsworth. And, you know, I even like in the 80s, I bought every record with a great guitar player on it. You know, I bought all the Dokken records because of George Lynch and, you know, all the hair metal bands. Um, yeah, like, I don't know. I think I just play what I like with all the influences I learned during the years.
When you look around yourself and you see, because you said there's a lot of great guitar players out there on YouTube, everywhere, but I feel like there's with the newer generation of metalheads, there's also this distance from the more classic approach of having a great song with a great solo, depending a lot more on breakdowns for heaviness. How do you see this shift that is happening in metal when it comes to guitar playing?
It's okay. Like I said, there is a lot of great, like especially technically, I mean, they start with playing Ingvi. You know, I started out with playing like some blues licks and stuff. That's uh, different. And I had to learn everything by ear. Nowadays, you Google and then you find the notation and the tab for everything. And maybe. I learned more like with the ear, and that helps me now, you know. And the new scene, like there is great ones, but a lot of them, like when I listen to it, it goes into this ear and goes out here, and nothing stays.
Not memorable.
No,
Not memorable.
there
Uh,
is exceptions, of course, you know.
I think when you create an album like this one and you give the guitars on the production side, you gave the guitars such a predominant role in defining the songs, the movement of the songs, the DNA of the songs, and then you add those solos in there. It just gives the album such a strength guitar wise that for me being more of an old school guy, it immediately jumps out at me as such a great guitar focused sounding album, and that takes nothing away from how heavy the record is. So there's a balance there as well to make the guitar sound good and still be heavy at the same time.
Thanks a lot. And maybe it was the approach how we recorded it, you know, like with Pro Tools, you can make like one or two takes and then edit the hell out of it, or you can make like five, six, or even 10 takes until the feel is right, and then you record it like that. And that's what we did because I wanted to have a modern sound with an old school approach. So we tried to record it more like the old school way, like on analog tape. So I used Pro Tools a lot of time, just like a tape machine.
Working with bands, producing bands, does that help you a lot when it comes to define the sound on your own band in terms of what you want the record to be?
Yeah, yeah, it helped, of course, because I have all the opportunities here, you know, like I have dozens of amps and everything. So, but it took me like 3 weeks for a guitar sound to find my sound.
Really?
Usually with customers, it's 2 hours, you know. But I wanted to have something new, something special, different to my live setup at the time. And so I even borrowed an amp. for the rhythm guitar.
Wow.
One don't have. And yeah, just search for something. It was a bit obsessive, maybe. That's why it took forever.
Maybe more than a little. Maybe just more. Maybe just more than a little. Considering how much you have at your disposal, you still went
Yeah,
outside searching for more.
yeah. But that's the great side of having a studio, I can work through the night and everything, And he went on like recording the vocals was like, we worked a long time. I was there on you have to mean what you sing, otherwise it's not believable. And like with the keyboards, we used all real stuff, like real Hammonds, a grand piano, even an old harmonium. And if you used keyboards, we re-recorded them through a guitar amp and stuff like that. It took forever, but I think it was worth every second. It's a lot of fun as well.
Do you see, because you said it took you time to record, you would do it for a week, you would walk away, do something else, work on something else, and then come back. Does that allow you
Right.
to better see the forest from the trees? Because if you sat in there for a whole month, I think the outcome of the record would have been totally different.
Yes, I think that helped. That helped to that's absolutely, after like a break of 2 months, you come back, listen to it again. Maybe we have to change that a little bit. And yeah, of course, that helped.
How frustrating was for the other guys whenever you would be like, you know what, that was good 2 months ago, but now we need to add this or take this out or do this.
Yeah, I guess that they are used to my perfectionism.
I love it. Do you have a favorite riff on this album?
No, and I don't have a favorite song either because I think, and the whole album is one piece, you know. Even when the record company told me we have to put out singles up front, it was like, oh no, I don't like that because we have to um, put something out of context and show it to the fans. That's not a good thing actually because the whole album is one piece.
I agree with you 1,000%. This record really plays like a record, and it has a very interesting design that really plays into that overall experience. How much time did you spend once you had the songs on the track listing that made the record feel like a record?
Ooh. Yeah, my co-producer Dennis Ross. No, I mean, we talked hours about which songs and how should the intro be, and I don't know. I didn't write down the time we used. It was, you know,
It went down to the wire. Let me ask you one last question. In this new modern day of metal, what role do you see Coroner playing?
maybe if people like something real, something like recorded analog and with real amps and stuff. Maybe I think that's important nowadays, where even AI bands exist, which is totally scary.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, but at the end of the day, it's this album is not for everyone. I think it's not easy listening. You have to listen to it a few times to understand it, maybe. And if it's not everybody's thing. If somebody doesn't like it, I'm totally fine with that.
I think that you can say this album is not McDonald's. It's not like fast food.
No, it's not.
You have to enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's a meal. You have to kind of take your time, enjoy
yeah,
a glass of wine.
absolutely. Thank you.
That's how I felt listening to it. It was not an album that I could rush my way through it. I really had to give the album its time, let it breathe, sit down, listen, pay attention to it. Because I think if you don't do any of those things, you're gonna miss the whole record. You're gonna be listening to something, but
Yeah,
you're not gonna be hearing anything.
I totally agree. You know, and for most people on this planet, it's maybe music is just something they consume when they clean house or whatever, you know, and that's okay. It's not for them. But for people who are really love music and listen to stuff like concert, really listen, it's more for them, I guess.
Yeah, because for me, I tried to listen to it while I was at the gym. I couldn't. Because
Oh,
either I was
really?
going to pay attention to what I was doing or I was going to pay attention to the music. I cannot do both at the same time.
Okay,
And I was
okay.
like, no, this is not one of those records that you can have it playing in your background.
Uh,
And at the end of it, you kind of get an idea of what the album is. I just felt completely disconnected from either one or the other. And I couldn't get deeper into it as I wanted. So I had to
I
take a
see.
step back and just listen to the record. Just let the record play. You know what I mean? So
Perfect.
I totally get what you're saying.
Awesome.
I had the same
Okay,
experience.
great.
All right, Tommy, thank you very much for your time, man. It's nice to see Coroner
Thank you.
back with new music. Dissonance Theory. By the way, the artwork is phenomenal. Who did the artwork for you?
There was Stefan Tanner, an artist from France. Great artist.
The artwork matches the vibe of the record, I must say. Like great, great,
Perfect.
great artwork. I really love the artwork on this album. Once again, welcome back. I know you've
Thank
never
you.
been gone, but welcome back with a new record, October 17th on Century Media. Thank you very much for your time today. This was an absolute pleasure. And I hope we cross paths at some point in time in Europe at a festival or something like that. It would be amazing to see you guys play these songs and the old shit live for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pedro.
Take care, man. All the best. Enjoy the rest of
You
your day.
too.
Bye bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye. Bye bye.